Well, it's good to be back in Viejas. The crowd was outstanding. I mean, they're behind this team when we're here, and it's great to have that kind of energy in the building, and we're grateful for that, and grateful for the greatest fans on the West Coast. I put 3 keys of the game before on the board, and one of them was we have to, if we out-rebound them, if we get 15 assists, which is our average, and if we commit only 11 turnovers, we'll have a chance to win this game. And we ended up with 15 assists. We out-rebound them. And turnovers were on me. We had 14 turnovers, but I think a large part of that was 6 to go. I was just holding the ball out top, and we weren't very aggressive. And I think if I'd have ran offense, I'd have been better off. But I wanted to shorten the game and hold the ball, and I think our guys got passive, and those turnovers were more on me than them at that point. But a good performance for the Aztecs. We shot 56% for the game, I think, 70-some in the second half, and our defense is continuing to get better. And every game is a different game plan, though. That's the whole point. It's like we open the game trying to send ball screens down the baseline, and then we went switch 5 where we switch every ball screen. And so these young guys, you know, they're catching on. You know, when the game plan changes, they don't get confused as much anymore, and they're doing a good job adapting to whatever we changes we make in timeouts. And like I said, it's an easy game if we did the same thing every time. But unfortunately, we play different opponents that have different strengths, and we have to change up, and the kids have done a good job finally getting comfortable with game plans changing on the fly and game plans changing for every game. So I'm proud of the guys today.
How much was that changing game plan attributed to only 11 attempts from beyond the arc?
I mean, Jalen was rolling today, so we went to Jalen, and Jalen hit 2 threes today, and he's a great mid-range player. And so we ran everything through Jalen, you know, put the ball in his hands, and he produced. The three-point shot is double-edged. I mean, I don't know how much better Vegas could have shot the ball, but I think the difference in the game was from the foul line. You know, we took the ball to the basket, and we got to the foul line, and whatever we didn't get from three-point range, we made up for on the free throw line. And I think that was by being aggressive, throwing it inside to Matt, throwing it inside to Nathan, throwing it inside to Jalen, and playing a little bit of inside out. And obviously our three-point shooting is not the same without Jordan on the floor. You know, he really stretches the floor. But with that being said, you know, we made a couple of them, timely ones, that kept the momentum going in the second half.
Is there a type of style of play where you feel like your team thrives a little bit more in like 30 free throw attempts, or do you like, you know, more 23, let's say 23 attempts from the arc?
I'd take as many free throw attempts as I could get. Obviously, we're still trying to find an identity offensively, you know, to try to put them in the best positions to be successful and what plays work best. And I've said this all year. You go into the season, you say, this is what we're going to be. And then when you're into the season, you're saying, this is what we are. And so we're trying to take advantage of what we are. And that's trying to get Jalen into the mid-range game, you know, trying to run ball screens for Devin, let him create a little bit, you know, let Jeremy get downhill and let Matt play inside out, you know, and obviously Nate working around the basket. So we're all trying to find our identity out there. And I think we're getting closer to that. We're now nowhere near where we need to be yet, but I think we continue to move in the right direction.
I don't think Jalen took a shot in the last 9 minutes against Fresno State. When you went back and looked at the tape, what did you see, and what kind of adjustments did you make to get him the ball more today?
We put a couple new plays in that got him a look or two. But the thing with Fresno is what they did and what UNLV didn't do, and they don't do it, but Fresno fronted him in the post. So we tried to get him in the short corner in those positions where he's really dangerous, but they fronted. So this week we spent a lot of time going against when we're fronted, and I think Nolan had a real good pass to him when they fronted him, and Nolan got it high-low, went high-low, and so you're only good at the things you work on. And so we haven't really been fronted all year, and when Fresno fronted us, it kept Jalen out of the spots he was most effective. So it's usually short corner and curling into the foul line. And I told him this week, I said, Jalen, when are you going to make a three? I think he hadn't made one in the conference, and he made 2 today. So he's getting more confident, and as he stretches the defense more with the three-point shot, he'll find that he's going to find more space to play with.
He obviously had a very public issue earlier this season, and he struggled in a couple games after that, and he's really kind of hit a stride, 5 straight double-doubles. I think the only other guy to do that is Kawhi in the last 20-something years. What have you seen from his mental state? Have you just seen him become more comfortable and kind of get past that?
He's doing what all the really good players we've had here do. He's putting his work in. So he's working hard. He's working on all his craft, his game. He works in practice like crazy, and then he works away from practice, trying to improve his skill level and the things he does, and those skills are starting to show through. Obviously, you know, as a coach, I have to find ways to put him in those positions better to score. And the thing with Jalen is, and it wasn't what he was last year, sometimes he just moves and finds those shots too. So I have to have a mix of him just playing free and moving without the ball, and also run plays at timely points in the game where I know I can get him in the range he's most comfortable.
His last 3 points came on a three at the buzzer after Marvin had told his team not to shoot. And I know you and Marvin, there's no bad blood there at all. What were your thoughts on that last three?
Well, he'll have to pay for that shot when we go to Vegas. They'll remember it. So it's a shot he took and made, and now he's going to have to answer the call when we go there because they won't forget. And I wouldn't forget either. I didn't want him to take the shot. He took it. I didn't even see it taken. I had turned to go shake hands with Marvin, and then the ref came and signaled the three was good. And so, you know, obviously I'm not going to overreact to it. I wish he hadn't have done it. In hindsight, I hope he feels the same way. But it's part of being a young kid and doing some things that you have to learn not to do. And he shouldn't have done that, but I'm not going to let that ruin a great game from him and make that the whole story that he took a late three. I thought he played magnificently, and the ones that will remember that more than anybody are the Rebels when we go in there to play him in Vegas, and they should. And so he'll have to pay that toll when we get there.
Did you say anything to him after the game about it?
I just told him I wish he hadn't have done that. So.
In terms of the rebounding, how much of it is technique? You've been working a ton on technique in practice the last, I mean, it's like half your practices now. How much of it is just desire and energy and focus and hustle?
Yeah, there's with rebounder, there's always a fine line. You know, coaches say you have to recruit a rebounder. You can't teach it. Now, you can teach technique and box out, but rebounders usually, you don't have to say a word to them. They just go get it. They don't box out. Maybe they hit, they get it, you know, and so we don't really, Jalen is as close to we have as an instinctual rebounder, but he's so light. He gets moved a lot. But he still ends up with 10 rebounds. Nathan is form and technique. Nolan's form and technique. So the form and technique guys are getting better. You know, a couple games ago, all they were doing was hitting their man, but they weren't turning and finding the ball. So it's work every day. And so now they're hitting, they're trying to find the ball. And with that being said, you know, we won the rebound battle, but we still gave up 13 offensive rebounds. And I'm thinking maybe 11 in the second half. I don't know what they had at halftime. So we did not do a great job finishing on the offensive glass. And so as a coach, you know, I told him we out-rebound him, and I said if you did, you would win, and we did. But there's always work to be done.
Coach, I'd just like to read you some stats just based on what three-point shooting has done to your last few recent games. So against Fresno State, you guys shoot 22% from the arc, you lose. 43%, you guys win by 30. And then against Air Force, you guys shoot 11%, you guys lose by 14. And then against Wyoming, you guys shoot 50%, you guys win by 30. Do you feel like there's like a...
I think you said it all.
So
when you make a higher percentage, you got a better chance to win.
What is
so,
the 3 point? What did the misses do? I guess is what I'm trying to ask. Like in terms of like losing by those margins.
Yeah, you have to shoot the 3-point shot in college basketball, pro basketball, high school basketball. If you're going to be good, you have to take some. You have to make them. If you're going to be really good, you have to make a lot of them. And so I don't like the ones where we're stepping back off the dribble and late shot clock. Those aren't going to go in very often. So that's why I always try to encourage assists. Because I know if we're passing the ball, we'll get the step-in threes. We'll get the ones, it's funny, the ones that go in are the ones that are pretty wide open. You know, where Adam stepped in late or Devin had one on the break where Jalen threw it and there wasn't anybody within 6 feet of him. You know, so occasionally you're going to have to make a tough one. But we have to create more where we're just stepping in wide open. And the ones we've made have been against zone. Those are the easier ones to get. We haven't found a rhythm getting them against man yet, and we have to do that. And that's more driving and kicking instead of driving and shooting, and that's something we continue to work on, spacing the floor and driving for other players.
Do you feel like just the three-point shot is you guys are relying too much on the three-point shot, or is that just kind of something that's just general in college basketball?
I mean, earlier in the year, we were in the top 7 in the country shooting a three, and now we've fallen off because everyone knows we're shooting it good, and they're taking it away. So maybe they're taking it away, and now we can get to the basket more, and we're getting to the foul line more and creating free throws, and so it's give and take. If they're taking the three away, that means they're extended and we can attack more, or we can throw it inside because the defense is too extended and they're not helping. So there's give and take with everything. If they start packing it in again on us, like Air Force might do, then we have to drive and kick the ball and shoot the three if they're packed in there.
Update on Jordan?
The ankle is stable. It's just swollen, you know, so there's nothing structurally with it. It's just the timeline is to when the swelling goes down and the pain subsides enough where he can play. So it could be by Air Force. It might. I hope it's no later than San Jose, but Air Force is a possibility, and San Jose would probably be realistic.
Do you know if you put up 30 shots from 3-point? What does that say about your defense?
They've been shooting it, you know, their last 3 games before they played us was 14, 15, and 14 threes. And so I think they had 13 against us, so we did a great job. We held them to 1 under what they've been scoring. So, but no, I put on the board 8 or under, and they made 13. So we didn't come close to that goal. I think they had 8 by halftime. But that's what they're doing now. And they're shooting a high percentage. You know, they're shooting 40-some% from 3 in the games leading up to ours. And so I don't know what their percentage against us was, but they are shooting the lights out from 3 right now. You know, 43% from 3 against us. So that's incredible. Usually a team shoots that good from 3, you're not going to win. But we found a way to still win with a comfortable margin. I think the free throw line was the difference.
What do you do to limit the damage when you know a team is just going to keep jacking those 3-pointers?
The danger in coaching is you stop helping. You just stay extended and you play no help defense. And usually when you play no help defense, you give up the 3 and you give up the layup and you give up everything. So we have to continue to play our help positions, but we have to move quicker. When they pick the ball up and turn to pass, we have to be moving instead of when the ball's in the air. And that's just all little stuff that has to be worked on constantly. When they pivot and turn to throw it out, you already have to be moving. You can't wait till the ball's been thrown. And so we have to read situations quicker where we help, and then we have to recover quicker to shooters.